What up? Welcome. Oh,
Oh,
what?
sorry. I thought we were
No,
going to clap or something.
Oh no, we can clap though. That's what's up.
Yeah.
We got Mutahar here. Welcome to Binge Eater, guys. I am actually here with Mutahar. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Anytime, man.
And this is Lynch, by the way. This is my cousin. Worked behind the scenes of Epic Mealtime, and
Inventor of the
know,
million calorie lasagna. Just
yeah.
Dude, I swear, so it's kind of a bit of a surreal moment because, like, you grow up, you watch some people, and it's like, damn, now I'm like talking to them in real life. Like, it's kind of weird, you know? But when you guys were making those crazy, epic, like, mealtime videos and, like, adding up the calories, I'm just like, where did that food go? Like, you guys clearly weren't eating any of it. Like,
No, there's some food was like really compromised. Some food was sitting on the table for 5 hours, and we make other versions of it that we would eat, and we would take some meals really like they went straight into the garbage. They were fucked. There were times where we had soup kitchens. There were a lot of meals, like something like 89 ice cream sandwich, 69 or something. That's it. It would sit in my freezer for a month. We'd get high at my house and then be like, "Yo, go get that big meal. I'm like, people are hungry," and we would slice pieces off of that. And we always thought that would be funny to show also, but we were just too high eating it. We never got around to filming those parts. But no, there's like when I worked. What's crazy about the whole food thing? When I went on the TV show, I did one episode and saw how much more food was being wasted, that I pushed the network to donate 10% of the budget to Feeding America, just because I felt so. The TV show, all TV shows, I've been on a bunch of TV shows, the amount of food that's on set and that is like art for one shot and the other one is for eating, and a bite gets taken and that's it. It's crazy. But there are also people on set that are excited to eat this stuff in real TV too, but just the levels are crazy.
we got better like later on as we went along, like strategizing.
Well, yeah, because I started also being like only making shit I want to eat. Yeah, but you're 29.
yeah.
Yeah, so you were like 19 years old watching. Even if you didn't like the channel, people around were like, Epic Mealtime. Like no matter what at that time, because you're in Canada also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were back then. The good old days. Shit. We were always on the front page. But you've been popping quite a bit for a few years now. Like I came to your channel. I watched you the first time, could be 5-6 years ago. Because you were talking about a lot of shit that I get into. Lynch, you're gonna sit back for a second here. I'm talking about epic gamer moments. You seem like a very much a gamer, and I was thinking about you today because and I don't know this one way or the other, but I feel like you like the game Dead Space.
Dude, I fucking love any horror game, but Dead Space has a fucking special place in my heart for that, dude. That game. Are you talking about the new remake?
The remake and the old one. You gotta love both of them, I'm sure.
The remake I fucking love because that shit, they have a special like function in that game where like it just keeps you on edge the whole time. Like you're getting a little comfortable, we'll throw an extra enemy your way, a little fucking scare. Getting too hammered will give you some items. Like it just keeps you on that edge. I love when
it looks really 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 good. The remake, the Dead Space remake, looks really really good. I love horror games, and one of my hot takes, I got a lot of hot takes, like I don't like watermelon. One of my hot takes is I should love Dead Space so much, but when I played it back on 360, I was like, oh, fuck this game. The guy runs like an idiot. I'm stomping, like you stomp boxes. That's what we do.
Yeah, you got to stomp every enemy for the fucking items. Yeah,
exactly. You're stomping every enemy. It's very bizarre, and I wanted to love it, and I didn't love it, and I played it twice, and I always abandoned it, and I got the remake. I played it once, I abandoned it, but I went back today, and I played hours of it, only because it graphically looks so good, and that's never important to me. That's always like tertiary, maybe. I like gameplay first, but these graphics look so good. I was like, you know what? I'll give this another shot. And I never got as far as getting the Force gun, which is like that shotgun that sends a wave that just blasts all their skin off. I got to that. It was pretty chill, but The one thing that I like about it a lot. Well, what's your favorite game?
Mine, like of all time, boy, that's a fucking tough one.
You
like,
could answer loosely. You could be like Resident Evil, Halo.
dude,
Metal
recently,
Gear.
like Metal Gear Solid 5, dude. That's my fucking favorite
What an
game right
incredible
now.
game! Yeah, incredible
Dude,
game.
every time I load that game up, like it's usually just like I want to kill like an hour, and then like I load it up, and I'm like, oh shit, the sun's already up. Fuck.
You're sending
Like,
guys out on missions and shit. And like,
dude, I'm a huge fan of like, and this is probably like it's a really good it's a really good explanation of why like I picked engineering as like the road to go down when I was studying. I'm like, if you give me a million options to like build like if you just give me meters to fill, you know, like fucking you send people out on this mission, like this is what your return is. I'm always micromanaging every single thing.
you need all that.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Like any game that gives me that, you've immediately captured me. I fucking love like micromanaging, like stupid shit like that. Like even like it just meters going up. Like maybe it's like all about like why YouTube is so like it's
The
that
algorithm,
mentality,
you love,
right? Like you're
love that algorithm.
always feeding into something, always working around. Like it, like I feel like it just caters into like that special part of like anybody's brain or my brain or like anybody in the space. Just that's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that. That is definitely like an archetype of the YouTube creator space. Another one is some people they just want to fill that void of fame or views. And it's not even like breaking down or filling the meter. It's kind of like this chase for something. And I know what it is. I felt it at one point before, and there's no end to that chase, but that's like a whole other person. But then sometimes those two people are also the same person. And then you get like a super build of a YouTube creator, someone who's gaming the system and that's how you get Mr. Beast, dude.
Dude, Mr. Beast and him with the system right now, fucking I have never seen a creator that like right now he's doing this whole like T-series like fucking war again, like or whatever the fuck, this competition.
I never thought someone was going to be able to come back at T-series. I thought that was long gone.
I mean, part of me, I'm like, you know, I'm fucking excited that like somebody's taking on the corporate side of YouTube again or like those corporate channels. But I'm like, dude, that shows me like how crazy he is at like, I don't want to say gaming the system. Like he makes good content. Like I don't want to act like
it's beyond everything. Like I always say to my buddies, I'm always like, I'm happy I'm not Mr. Beast. I make my videos, you know, when I'm inspired. But Mr. Beast, I like when I was doing YouTube, shit would be like, damn, this channel did that. We gotta get 4 turkeys. That was me being next level, getting 4 turkeys. Mr. Beast is like, we're bringing water to Africa and letting the blind see.
Yeah,
those are crazy YouTube videos, dude. It didn't have to be that serious.
No matter what, like, and then when he does it, he gets like fucking shit on by somebody. It's like crazy. I remember when he did that, like. It's like the articles came out where he embarrassed the local government. I'm like, dude, how is it that you get to a point where you're doing like an objective good and then you still have to deal with bad PR? Like, fuck that.
Yeah, he embarrassed a lot of people though. He embarrassed. If I were Jeff Bezos, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be there in my cowboy hat in space, and I'm like, yeah, you're like in space, cowboy hat on. But it's like, bro, what are you doing in space?
Well, it's like the same thing with like. It's like Elon Musk and shit too, right? Like it's like you think that he'd do something cooler, and then he just spends 44 billion on Twitter. And
how many blind people? Every blind person in the world could see. I bet.
Yeah, literally. It's like it's like when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, I wish our billionaires were more like fucking comic
Mr.
book
Beast
billionaires. No, like comic book billionaires.
Yeah.
Like I wish we'd have like an Iron Man or a fucking Bruce Wayne at this point, but we just have a guy who's spending 44 billion on Twitter, and that's it.
Yeah,
like there's nothing fun that comes out of it.
Yeah, you get the Cybertruck. That's the most fun you can get out of it.
Doesn't even look that fun.
Is that even coming out?
I think it's getting
closer.
It's getting closer, but it's.
They say that
he had Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it. I think is what the last piece of.
I saw a video of a Cybertruck. I don't know if it was real or not, but it was on Twitter. It was like they were trying to drive it up like a fucking cliff, and it was failing. I'm like, that's just bad, dude. Like if that's true, right? Like even and like the thing about it is like as somebody that like I know what like products in development do, I'm like, dude, who let that video sneak out? Like that just
no one did. He made the call. He unilaterally made the decision for sure.
Oh yeah, no,
like he's like, I saw this whole thing. It was like some engineers being like, oh, the amount of times he said something that we were like, please don't say that. And then he went on stage and said it. And they're like, that's literally impossible what you just said.
Bro, the Tesla brand of vehicles might be one of the most fucked cars that I've ever owned in my life.
Oh, you have
Like,
a Tesla, or you have a Tesla?
I have one right now. I have like the S or whatever, and it's just so. Before I had to go to New York 2 weeks ago, like I was doing a road trip, the fucking GPS stopped working. So I'm like sitting in the car, and like the GPS is pinned to the house. So like I'm in Toronto, right? Like 30 minutes from my house, and I'm like like the car is registering me at home, and I didn't realize this because usually I don't take the GPS when I go to the city because I just know how to do it. So I'm like, GPSing back home. I'm like, oh shit, the car thinks I'm at home. So I call up Tesla, and like they're just like, yeah, your computer's fucked. We have to we just have to replace all of it. I'm like,
You're like, and that's the whole car.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, so I take it into the service center, and like, it's a good thing that they take it in at like 2 p.m. and they give it to me by like midnight. So, because I have to drive out at like 3 in the morning anyways. So I'm like, all right, cool, I got the car back. But then like the guy takes the car, he like takes it into the back, comes back, it's like, yeah, your whole computer has to be refitted. I'm like, dude, that's like the engine swap on a car. Literally, it's like a whole car is being switched. Like, what the fuck?
I had a hard time when I found out they had like their finishings are not great. Like, how much space there is between the door, and the and all that stuff they said is like just terrible on a Tesla. And I'm like, I'm so OCD that would just drive me crazy. Like I would see that one time and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, thankfully I never had that issue with mine. I've only ever had the technical issues where like just literally computer had to be reswapped once, and fucking like sometimes like you do a software update on the car and then it's like, oh, the cameras have stopped working. And then you take it and it's like, oh yeah, we fucked up. But thankfully your car is under warranty, so we'll fix it for free. I'm like, now hold on a fucking minute. Wait a minute. You're telling me you can auto update my fucking car, and then if you break something and I'm not under warranty, now I gotta fucking pay for it?
Sounds like TVs.
Yeah, like but a TV I can handle. A fucking car?
Yeah, not a car, exactly.
If this fucks up on the road,
they have DLC now. They got DLC for the cars.
I mean, dude, they have a whole page where you can buy microtransactions. I mean, it's not just Tesla, like BMW does it too. Like my buddy told me like he had heated seats and he had to fucking pay monthly for that.
I don't like it. I feel like everything I buy now requires an app to control or like something like that. And I want to go more analog. Like I feel like my brain, like I'm
back knobs and switches.
Think about it all the time. I'm like, I don't want to,
because it's 2023. And when I say knobs and switches, close your eyes. You thinking about knobs and switches? Wrong. Yeah. That's 1995. I'm talking about 2023 car-made knobs and switches. Imagine the analog game, what it would look like on the dashboard, your stereo and all that, everything. It'd be sick.
Dude, back then there were cars that looked really fucking cool. Like nowadays, like everything with the digital dash and everything.
Playing a lot of Cyberpunk. I see the best part about that game, all the interiors of those cars. That's what I want. I want those knobs and switches. Like a big black display that only says the time. Yeah, nothing crazy. No touch screens. I have a Ford, and the touch screen inside it's like a fucking big thick touchpad. I have the F-150 and I had the Explorer, and they both have this like it's basically a tablet you can get at Pacific Mall. You ever been there in Toronto?
Dude, like outside Toronto? P-Mall? Yeah, the place that gets rated every year. Oh yeah,
exactly. I love that place. When I first moved to Toronto, I was looking to buy toys. I collect collectibles, and I put in just looking around for this place. I was trying to find this place actually called First Markham Place. I may have just put in Asian Mall in my Google search. I'm a dude like that. Like I'll go into my maps and I'll type in stupidly whatever it is. I may have typed in Asian Mall.
That's what I do when I go out for food. I'm like, man, I'm really down for steak. Let me just do steak on Google Maps.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. I saw a thing once. It was a tweet. Someone said that she said like her boyfriend, he opened up the maps and wrote jeans because he needed pants. And like that, I moved like that too. That's what I would have done.
It's like, what's the closest? Click on that. Done.
I remember pulling up to Pacific Mall and I was like, what is this place? And you go inside, guys listening at home, it's this huge ass mall. You go inside and I swear it's like you've teleported to this indoor Asian market of all like fake Supreme fanny packs and snacks, crazy shit. There's this really popular cheesecake in Toronto that people used to line up for, and what they never realized, they'd line up downtown for Tetsu's cheesecake. What they didn't realize was that if you went to Pacific Mall, the people there didn't really give a fuck that much about it, so you could just walk right up and easily get it. Yeah. But no, I was living in East York back then, and sometimes they'd tell people like, "Oh, I'm like, you should come by to my place," and they were like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "East York." And I remember one person went, "Ew." Yeah.
Like, why not North York? Come on.
Yeah.
The P-Mall was a wild. P-Mall is where, like, I'll be real. I ended up getting like a lot of pirate games and goods from there. Like, that's what I remember mostly from it. And then obviously them getting raided by the RCMP every year. Because, like, for anybody that doesn't know, like, Pacific Mall is like the largest like pirate mall. It's an Asian shopping center, but like it just has a fuck ton of pirated goods that are being sold on a yearly, and I'm talking like in the millions of dollars of goods. Like that's just what's sitting there on the market.
It's huge. The place is huge.
Yeah. And nowadays it's like it's the only place that gets raided every year by the cops, but I guess they just have a fucking deal in place where it's like you give us a fucking one raid and we let you operate for the rest of the year for fucking whatever. I'm like, it must be the most open secret like police backhand deal that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But
it always comes back. Like they get cleared out and then there's like no brand name stuff there. And then over months they just slowly leak back in until it gets cleared again.
It's like it's a place that like any family that comes over here, they're like, I want to go check like a shopping center. I'm like, don't go to Eaton. You get Eaton everywhere in the world, dude. You can fucking go to like Times Square. You can go. That's standard, okay? Because when anybody asks me about Eaton Center, I'm like, it's like going to fucking Rodeo in like Los Angeles. It's like, fine, whatever. I'm not buying anything from there anyways. Go to fucking P-Mall. It's way cooler. Yeah. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's way fucking cooler.
No, you could go to you go there, you get like Asian beef jerky, you get those waffles, those bubble waffles done up however you want, and then you buy like an airsoft handgun that's a replica of Albert Wesker's or something like that. Literally a thing that my buddy bought there.
They don't have the orange tips on those either.
No, like, they don't. This is like this is that Asian shit, bro. That real
they don't give
Asian
a
shit.
fuck. But that's like the coolest stuff. It's like going into a fucking alternate dimension in like North America. This one place.
Exactly, and I love the alternate dimensions. I got a question actually. What's your favorite fast food?
My favorite fucking fast food, dude, I'm a huge Mexican fast food guy. Like, you give me a taco place, I'm fucking down for it. There's like a burrito bar here. I went there for the first time. I was like, dude, they just have like
a one-off burrito bar? Like not a chain, just individual?
It's a chain over here, but like I only ever saw one of them. It like the quality of the food was like, I guess you could say Chipotle even. Like it was fresh, but fast foodish. Yeah. Like a cut above your average like fast food joint, but fucking like it's Mexican food first and then like fried chicken next. Burgers are like surprisingly at the end of the list, like McDonald's or so. Like that's usually only something that I'll get like if it's 1 a.m. and I'm fucking starving and that's the only place that's open.
That's so funny. They're like, hamburgers.
Like, dude, fucking Jen, she loves burgers. Like she'd be down for it, right? But I'm just like, dude, it's just messy. Like I'd rather just, I guess, fucking tacos and fried chicken
very
isn't.
Messy.
Yeah, like I guess it's not defending much, but just I don't know. There's more. Like there's just like Mexican food just has like a fuck ton of flavor into it, man. Like those guys do not fuck around with seasonings.
I love
or
Mexican food.
Like, and that's one of the reasons why I like going to California a lot because it's like fucking.
Yeah, you ever get those birria tacos? Those birria tacos where you like dip them into their own fucking juices.
Oh yeah,
I love that shit.
The only other food that's so fucking killer is like if you go to Dallas or something, there's this place called Terry Black's. It's like a smokehouse or whatever, right? Like a barbecue pit. Dude, best fucking meat I've ever had in my goddamn life. Like it's the most like you could be toothless and enjoy every single other fucking item, you know. But like Texas barbecue.
What do you like? What kind of barbecue do you like? What do you get?
Brisket. Usually that's like fucking number one.
Agree with you on that.
Turkey, surprisingly, like I can pick up a turkey.
That doesn't. I know that would bother a lot of people. That doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah,
that
it depends on
but
the
that
place
does,
that
but
makes
you
it.
know that bothers a lot of people.
That's because they're eating turkey wrong.
If you
That's
go to
why. They're eating
but if
they're eating turkey that's overcooked.
But if you go to a barbecue place and you say turkey, if you're at a table with 8 dudes, 8 fucking real straight dudes, and
Meat
you order
loving
turkey,
guys.
you order a turkey, someone's gonna say something. If you were at a barbecue place, and if they don't, then it's the waiter or waitress is gonna say something.
And
I'm
it's
not
like
against it.
the thing is like you're right. It's like you eat it wrong. Like you've been eating turkey wrong because not every turkey is like overcooked and fucking dog shit.
Yeah, like
you know?
rubbery.
Like,
Yeah, it's like rubber.
Not only that, when I'm at the barbecue spot, I have all these selections of delicious sauces to enjoy it with. I got mac and cheese. I have potatoes. I have cornbread. I'm good. You can give me anything here, and I'll be good. With everything, it's the whole experience here. You can give me anything. This meat is merely a vessel. It's merely a vessel for me to have these sauces. You know.
Yeah.
I'm picky with my brisket. I'm not a fan. I'm not automatically a fan of brisket. Like when you at the Jewish holidays, you should come sometime, by the way.
Oh,
seriously,
absolutely.
whenever you want. No, seriously. Mood, I'm serious. You can come to my house, Jewish holidays. Any holidays coming up, it's a Jewish holiday, you want to see what's up, you can come to my house, promise you. Like these
Do you live in Toronto?
No, I live in Montreal.
Okay. That's not too far, right?
Yeah. If you ever want to come to Montreal, you let me know. We'll fucking, what do we do, bro? We'll hook up the Xbox 360 system link. Well, we'll get crazy with it.
Dude, we'll bring up the OG system link LAN party. Hell yeah.
Yeah. We'll go to the gym. We'll get some good pumps. We'll get a couple good pumps.
I've just been doing core stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the last thing I ever do. I'm so bad at that.
Part of it is just getting into like the mood of it. Like fucking, I kind of wish that I could have like a gym in my basement. That's it. Like, because sometimes it's just like timing is usually the biggest problem for me.
You definitely need a gym in your place for sure. Getting around in Toronto and Toronto areas is so time. It just, there's so much time. I could get to my gym in 7 minutes if I went, and I still have a gym at my place. Cause if you do ever want a gym, there's like one item you can get that, like, you know, it's like $1,800, but it's everything. It's all the things you would need.
Okay.
See, I would also say that if you had a gym in your house, and you have like a decent income, you just hire a trainer. Offload all the thinking about it, and then you're just automatically doing it. You know, you're not even thinking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Someone else is taking on that responsibility.
Bro, trainer, you got a trainer, but like then you got to have this guy come to your house, and it's like shit. I was kind of vibing in the middle of something, you know. Like that's the thing. That's why even a trainer indoors could be good for me. I need to like be so free, because there are times where I feel it and times where I don't.
Like you want to.
Is it like a meditative thing then for you mostly?
It is a lot. I kind of know like that maybe I'm unhappy if I'm not hitting up the gym. Maybe there's some things I need to check up on.
My thing is fucking, it's just the timing. Cause like, what I do for a living is like asset property management. Like that's like our day-to-day stuff. So it's like, that's a 9 to 5. And then like YouTube is like after 5 PM, like then I have time to do this. So it's always like,
you have a job and YouTube.
Yeah. Like
you have a job still that you do.
We have our own business now that we.
Is it tied into your YouTube stuff, or is it independent?
No, it's totally separate.
Oh, wow.
Totally independent. And the only reason we did that is like back in the day, there was this thing called the Adpocalypse, which killed the ad rates on YouTube so bad. And that was a period where I was like, I could do this full time. And the ad rate dropped to the point where I'm like, I could still do this full time, but like, why? You know, like, because it's still kind of like, it was good money, but it was not like enough money for me to be like relying on for years. So that moment in time, I basically took everything in the savings and we started investing our money in businesses, assets, and we were operating on a loss for like 2-3 years, because starting a business, you're not expecting to make anything. But now that's like the moneymaker. That's like that's pretty much what keeps us going. YouTube is like,
if I were you, I would honestly I would build a gym.
I mean, like that would mean that I could go to it every day.
if I were you, I would actually I would pay someone to build me a gym. And I would hire a trainer and tell him like he might have to wait 30 minutes when he pulls up, you know, like get a workout in himself if he wants. Like you got to be out here fucking big dick swinging, bro. Like,
Dude,
I don't want to get too into it, but I'm seeing the views and you got another income. That's very, you're very, you're maximizing. You really are out here grinding. Like on that,
Dude, I've had this thing. I don't know if you guys like during like the shooting of Epic Mealtime, because you guys were a little bit more structured versus like the one man show here. Like you guys feel bad when you miss a date, right? Like uploading or like anything.
I didn't miss a Tuesday for like 11 years.
Like you
every
do
single
everything
Tuesday, every single Tuesday for 11 fucking years.
But that's the thing. Like you get like the most successful channels in the space are the ones that are the most highly regimented people out there, right? Like what we don't understand is like when you're in this like service or like when you're in this business or you're any business, really, it's like you're like. I hate it when people say you can be your own fucking boss and you can set your own schedule. That's bullshit. Hell no. You work and you work 24/7. If you own your own thing, if you own your own channel, you don't get that luxury of like switching off after 5 p.m. Like you are constantly thinking about the next, whether it be the upload or the next venture or something of that nature, right? So like you're always stuck in that mentality. So I don't know. For me, the scary thing is like missing a day or missing like a meeting or missing anything, right? Like meetings I'll miss here and there just because other things always collide. But if you ever hop off the momentum, it's like fuck. That like throws me entirely for a loop. Like mentally I'm gone. I don't even know where the hell I am. Like I need to constantly be on the hamster wheel. And people say it's unhealthy, and it is, don't get me wrong. Like you should have time off, but like fucking there's a part of that where like I almost feel safe in doing it because it's like as long as I'm constantly working or I'm on like or I'm doing something versus nothing, it adds like that weird stability to my life.
And when I was your age, bro, I was exactly what you're saying. There's a period in life where I feel like it's so easy to be grind 24/7. On that fucking hustle, especially if you recognize that what you're doing or your capabilities now are something you can take advantage of that you might not have in the future. Something like YouTube viewership is always fleeting, or the market of a particular investment or something like that. Just recognizing that now's the time to focus on it. That's there's a period in my life where I remembered that was the primary function.
It does help if you are
hungry. You're fucking.
It does help if you have like if you're like a singular person or someone just talking directly to camera, which is very different than what we had to put together week to week. And we were like,
but still, this guy's young and hungry, bro. He's banging out videos like daily. What do you do? Two videos a day?
I do one a day at this point, but generally, like my schedule is like I have a big video usually like every 2 weeks that I'm working on, and the daily stuff is usually like. Stuff I do per day, usually lower investment of time, and then I spend the rest of my hours.
You in any drama lately?
I guess I was technically arguing with Boogie lately. That was about it. Fucking hell. That was, dude, Boogie was like an interesting little piece for me because it's just like I can't like I can't handle like a lie, you know what I mean? Like because when somebody's like objectively like bullshitting me or something, like you all can detect it. Everyone gets fucking mad at that. I have like a tick or something where I'm just like I can't handle like a lie constantly over and over again. So like one of my biggest things with like audiences is like when a creator goes up and look, we're all rock stars, right? Like we all have a time, people fade, things happen. You're never going to be at your peak all the time. But like what people don't understand is like being a YouTuber is like winning the fucking lottery. You make a good amount of money, you have a good life for a while. You know what I mean? Like you're on cloud 9 for a bit. It never lasts forever. So when I see a creator who's like, shit, I spent all my money in crypto and I lost it. So you guys please donate to my Patreon and all this shit. I'm like, dude, eat my fucking ass. You won the lottery and you still want me to feel bad?
Eat his ass. Eat his ass.
Like I'm supposed to feel bad for a lottery winner? Fuck out of here. And then like part of me, I'm just like, dude, you don't have to live in the $10 million mansion. You can move into something a little better. There's no shame in that either, right? Like fuck.
What's even worse is I scroll by that like conversation, that stuff you mentioned there, and I go, this feel like the people involved in that podcast makes me like 100% skeptical of like what's going on at all times. And the public conversation about it, when they're talking about it, I'm like, and even like Boogie talking, I'm like,
Like you think that
I feel like it's
next level gaming.
I feel like
YouTube
it's like using like doing things to generate any amount of like movement towards
controversy and
whatever
viewership.
it is,
So
right?
I got a question then. Did you guys see the one where Keemstar was yelling at Boogie?
Yes. That's when I was like, this
Right?
can't be real. I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Okay, I was
That's
gonna
what
ask. Do you
convinced
think
me.
do you think he was actually that mad, or
Oh, I know he was actually that mad. So
he's not? He didn't do that for.
that wasn't a bit. So
Really?
the weird
Lynch,
thing about
he'd be an excellent actor if
is-
he acted that. That's like Daniel Day-Lewis level.
the
He sounded
weird
like he had
part
rage
about that,
tears.
Come on.
that like podcast that they're doing right now is like, I guess I was kind of like railroaded into it or something, even though I'm not like a member. It's just like I was there for like one thing, and I'm there because like I do want, like, to me it looks like shock therapy, right? Like from the outside looking in, I'm like, you need, in order to change as a human being, you kind of need that devil on your shoulder that tells you when you're lying, when you're fucking up, because like that's how I see it, right? Like we've all done bad things, we've all had like a period where we could be better human beings, and it takes like somebody to like constantly like not like shit on you, but like to be the person that like course corrects you. You know, it's like, you're lying, you say you want to be a better person, so let me, stop you. Like you need somebody to give you that tough love. But the way that it looks like, it just, that anger that I think he had on him that day, that was like blatant like anger. Like I've actually seen anger.
When was the last time you got that angry?
I have never in my life gotten that fucking angry.
I think I may have in my life been that angry, but like you said about being a YouTuber and winning the lottery with it, I can't imagine being a YouTuber winning the lottery, or in his sense, in his case, he's very successful. I can't believe he's so angry.
I can't imagine sending a
think for
voice
him,
note
it's like-
with that level of anger to anyone.
You guys are boys, aren't you? You guys are friends, right?
Yeah, we're friends in that sense. I don't co-sign everything that he'll ever say, but like,
No,
for
same.
people
I
realize-
talked to him on the phone here and there. You know, like
Well,
I actually hit him up.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you had fucking people at your place. You had mood at your place. You didn't hit me up. I was mad about that. I was like, how dare you not invite me? Talk shit to me on Twitter and you don't send me the invite? You don't think I want to be in that basement bar in Buffalo?
No, like the thing is with him, it's like he's the kind of guy where like I'll tell him like there's things that like I agree with you on, and I'm like I'm your friend on, but like there are things where I just don't get or agree on. Like you can have these disagreements. It's weird, like people who like get into my ass and it's like, you're friends with him, you're friends with the most evil person. I'm like,
oh, I get that all the time.
Yeah, and I sit there and I'm like, I have one response. I'm like, when I was in the hospital and my appendix was blown up, he's like the only dude that checked in on me every day, and he was like giving me medical advice. So it was like it was one of those things where like the friendship, it goes a little bit like deeper, because it's like I have respect for somebody that's willing to at least like check up on me. Like it was him and like my fucking mom that was like constantly calling
sometimes
me
something like that, like it could show you really how someone is. Like for example, I'm a huge Pitbull fan now. Never cared much for Pitbull, but then he did this contest. You probably know about this. It was like a 4chan thing. He did this contest where Walmart said whichever Walmart gets the most votes, Pitbull will perform there. And 4chan got a hold of it, and they made this Alaska Walmart win. And Pitbull went to Alaska, and he performed still for like 30 people. That's Mr. Worldwide. And sometimes someone does one move and you're like, you know what?
Back up.
Maybe you aren't the worst.
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like, I think what's so important about it too is like that long-term view. Cause it's like, as long as people know that you're a good sport about things and like you're a good fucking guy, it's like, well, if you're genuinely doing good things, not like out of fucking, like I think it's very easy for us to tell if somebody's being good because the cameras are on versus somebody who just, goes out of their way to do something nice because there's no gain really for them. But what do they care? They already have everything. So fuck it. You might as well do something out of kindness every once in a while, right? Or
well, having said that, a person who would, check up on you and he's like a nice guy like that. Why is he so mad, you think?
Well, the reason I think he was so mad about
furious.
that, I think he was mad about it because from what I understand, he spent like 50,000 on each of those guys. So he was like operating on a net like loss. Because let's be honest, like a podcast,
right?
is not gonna
But
break
like,
you
is
out.
that gonna be the make or break that you would get that furious?
I think
Like
for it
it's
was just like
50K. Like we got to hold it
yeah.
together here. Got to make this
Well, like
podcast
it's
happen.
that, but it's also like, bro, I guess when you're at like when you've talked to people, it's like this is where you're like you should have all of your controversy on your show, and like your one business partner isn't listening to you. I don't know. Their relationship is weird. I mean, I can't understand the anger to that point, just because it's like if I get that mad at something, I'm fucking walking away. Like easy as that, right? Like I'm fucking
Why you
stepping
have to be
outside.
mad?
Yeah, but like for that, it's just like, man, I mean, I could imagine directly working and being a business partner with like Boogie, Wings of Redemption, all these guys it must be one of the toughest fucking things to do, right? Like, because like YouTube is such a weird place. Like you either meet some of the most professional dudes in the fucking space, right? Like they got their shit together, everything on lock. And then you find people who are like just masters at burning their fucking money and their time and doing nothing. Like I have met so many creators who like have moved out to LA. Like this is the funniest thing in the world. Like these guys move out to Los Angeles and they like on their videos are living in these mega mansions. And for the longest time, I used to be like, oh wow, I guess they must have bought an LA property. I mean, it's a little bit too expensive, but sure, cool. Kind of a decent investment, I would say. And then I'm like, oh, you're spending how much on rent? Like $20,000 together? And they're like, no, we're roommates. And I'm like, dog, you're spending a fucking Honda Civic every goddamn month on living in a place you guys can't afford. What the fuck?
Do you think it's inevitable that this will be the downfall? A lot of these streamers are getting from what it seems like the mega bag, you know, to be doing like exclusive streaming, and they're spending all this money and they're living these, like I saw some videos where they're just like pulling, it could be like somewhat exaggerated, but it seems like they're definitely at the bag right now, you know, when you have millions of dollars just in cash. And like,
when you're talking about XQC,
I saw like Aiden Ross, I saw Aiden Ross, like the whole video went viral. He lost like $4 million gambling or something like that.
I
thought that was, I was like, that's like Monopoly. You're not even thinking like that's like money doesn't mean a single thing to you, and you've lost the plot. Like, you've lost the plot completely.
Like $4 million. It's like when I think of that, I'm like, dude, you just lost a mansion, bro. Like you lost like a nice property, right?
I'm like,
how rich you are, no matter how much money.
I'm like 4,000 blind people could see instead of what you just did.
Dude, when you've got $4 million that you've pissed away at a fucking casino of all things, right? Like that should be like your sign. Somebody in your life should come and fucking strangle you and tell you to walk the fuck out, you know? Like $4 million?
It's crazy.
$4 million, like, dude, $400,000, $40,000 can be life-changing. $4 million?
Gambling's crazy.
People
Gambling's crazy. I don't gamble, and when you don't gamble, we couldn't begin to understand.
But it's not even the gambling. I feel like you're like what you said there is like they're running crazy, like their burn rates they must be running insane expenses, like buying houses and all this stuff and just ripping through cash at
well, like the thing is like
level.
We don't know what happens in those deals, right? Like those kick things, because it's like part of it is like, because some of those deals, like part of it is like they give you a flat bag, or they give you some equity in the company, or they give you, or you have to gamble some of it, right? Which like we don't know the true extent of it, but let's say it's in the multi-millions, right? Mm-hmm. You're right. The burn rate is fucking high because like buying a house, like people don't understand. It's like buying a house is the easy fucking part. The property taxes and upkeep on the fucking house, that's a different cost right there.
Yeah, buying a big house then, like, on top of it, like just anything in a big house, like just multiply your cost by a significant amount.
Like you want to go buy a big fucking house, and then you're buying a big house in like two of the hottest markets in the world, Los Angeles and Miami. Like Miami is one, like for people who don't live in the US or anything, like in North America, Miami as a city is probably the most expensive city in the country, right? Like it is, like it's a city of pure fucking opulence, right? Like it's just that's the only city where like the average like road car is like, I'm not fucking with you, like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something. And that's what they're also buying too. Like it shows you the level of intellect some of these guys have, because Aiden Ross, I don't think he's a fucking intelligent human being. He's a good like creator, like he's good at going viral, but like managing money, like if you're burning $4 million on like gambling and you're buying like a $400,000 Audi that I guess has a Lamborghini badge on it and a fucking
that's exactly what it is. It is an Audi.
Let's be fucking honest here. You're not that smart with your cash. So there's and here's the thing, there's probably a good chance that some of these guys are going to go into like bankruptcy. I don't think people like XQC will. I would imagine that XQC is at least old enough to have like investments. But some of these guys, I think, like, money is forever. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, like, Speed bought, like, a $10 million house. Which, like, I'm sure he can afford. Like, absolutely. But, like, like he can afford right now, but can he maintain and upkeep it? If he that's the thing that I ask, right? Like a $10 million fucking house is still.
It just seems like the numbers being floated out there. Like we don't know the specifics. Just seem a little like this. I'm like, that's crazy.
Well, just an idea of the possibilities, which is obviously on the high end, but I remember being on Train's podcast a whole bunch and speaking to him briefly at one point, being like, hey man, like you're gambling a lot, like, you know, make sure you're putting some of it away, you know? And he was like, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Thanks. And I was like, cool. And then months later, he had that video clip come out where he was like, yeah, I made $350 million. Oh
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, yeah. But you know what? If you have, and I'm not talking about him specifically, let's just say like a number like $200 million. If you have $200 million, the only way that you can lose $200 million realistically and quickly beyond being a complete fucking crazy person is gambling. Normal, smart people can lose 200 million gambling.
I mean, you can definitely find ways
it's
to
the
lose
only because drugs, for example, expensive drugs, there's a downtime. You consume the drug and then you're fucked up and you can't consume more drugs or buy more drugs. And then even buying drugs, you have to meet up with the shady dude in this bizarre scenario. If you get too much at one time, you can't buy the most drugs in one shot either. It's things like that. Getting drunk, when you get drunk, you're hungover, and alcohol is not enough money. But gambling it's like right into your pocket and can pull $1 million right out. Like gambling can do.
It can, but you don't have
100%
losing rate. I think like there's plenty of examples of people who have made, like athletes are probably the best example, where they've made hundreds of millions of dollars and they somehow like $100 million contracts go broke because they don't consider, like, you know, they maybe made $350 million. Does he have an agent? Does he have a lawyer? He has to pay taxes? Like there's a lot of things that go into that money that gets eaten up, as you know, because you know, you've been down that path, not $350 million, but I feel like there's a way, if you're willing to have like a 20-person entourage and buy like a bunch of real estate speculatively and think it's
These
good.
Guys could afford XQC could have a
guys get caught.
entourage.
Listen, they get caught up buying like rental. They'll invest in these properties and, like, you know, listen, you can get fucked, man. You can put $10 million into something, and something like a more, not just a house, like a real, you know, development.
If I was a Twitch streamer, if I was a Kick streamer, no shot I'm putting $10 million in anything other than a home. If I were like that money, I wouldn't need to invest 10 million in something. I just wouldn't.
But what we're saying here is that you're older, more mature, have seen more things. A lot of these streamers tend to be a little younger.
Yeah, like if you're young and like you're given all that money and you don't have like financial
literacy,
fucking education, you're fucked. Yeah, like you're completely fucked in that regard, right? Like, dude, I felt like guilty buying a fucking car. Like, even though I can very well afford it, right? Like I can imagine, like, could I go and buy like a fucking could I go and buy some crazy property? Sure, but like, dude, setting yourself back and then having that at the top of your head, it's like the stress that goes with it.
Oh,
like,
that helped me. I never got caught up. Like, there are things I bought, like maybe fancy shoes or something here and there, but I never got caught up in wanting a crazy lifestyle or wanting to be in a bougie part of town or anything like that. I
think people learn is like, yeah, money's good to a certain extent. You know, obviously it makes life easier. But what seems to be the general theme,
more money, more problems.
The general theme is like, you see these guys and like depressed, or they got issues, and like people are like, oh, but you made $10 million, like everything should be good. And I think eventually you learn like that's not necessarily the case for everyone. You know, this is like,
I mean, my thing with money is like, for me, a lot of like my lifestyle is pretty minimal, because like if you ask me what I do, like I have my like gaming setup here, my like house, but other than that, like I don't, like, the most I spend my money on beyond like just investing it or like, you know, expanding a business or something, right, is like buying food with friends or like going out and having drinks. That's about it. Like that's my expenditure for the fucking, like, that's what I would choose to spend my money on personally. I don't understand gambling just because like I'm not in that headspace. I've been to a casino a few times. Like, don't get me wrong, I've definitely played a few hands at a table. Like, it's happened, but I've never understood I've never understood the drive for
it. Never got me. It never.
Gambling in Vegas is fun. You're with the boys or whatever. You know, you're having a good time.
Yeah, like if you're with your homies, you like. For me, when I look at gambling, it's like I go to a Vegas place. I'm like, I'll take $200-$300 out. I'm like, that's just fucking, that's like the entertainment cost of the night, right? Like, if I lose it, I lose it. If I win, I win. But I'm with the boys.
I'm with the boys in Vegas, and I'm like, fine, you guys want to gamble 40 minutes? Then let's get some coke and sluts.
Yeah,
thank you.
Like, do
something wholesome. Yeah, do something wholesome with that money. Come on,
let's take mushrooms and go to Cirque.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, dude, you got like all this degeneracy you can partake in. You're only doing gambling. Come on, Bill.
You got to dabble. It's a buffet out here.
Dude, everything is legal, dude. Vegas, dude, that whole city, everything is so. It's that. If you're talking about alternate dimensions, that's the biggest alternate dimension in the world.
We've been there.
Can't spend a lot of time. Can't spend a lot of time.
That's a 2-3 day. After like 2-3 day excursion.
70 hours. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here.
I
have friends that are like, I live here.
Like, nah.
I can't even imagine living in Vegas of all things. I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Like, it's literally just like a party city all the time.
You live in night
I do want to go and go see the Sphere. You know, play that golf hole right there or something like that. I'm kind of interested in that, but
yeah, I'll check out the Sphere. Your gaming setup. What you got there? You got a 21x9 monitor?
I got a 32x9 monitor. Whoa! I went out insane for this one, but
what size is it?
32x9. It's 5120 by, I think it's like 48 inches, but don't buy this monitor because like 99% of the games on the market don't support this.
I know I have a 21x9 and it's cool sometimes, but every time I'm gaming, I'm usually streaming.
Yeah, it's 120 hertz, like 5120 by 1440 monitor. It's good. Like I play Cyberpunk on it. It's awesome. But like for streaming, what this monitor does is I split it into two software wise. So I just have like I have the streaming monitor here, the gaming monitor there, and then like nobody in the audience has to fucking bitch about like ultra wide streaming and all that. There was a time where I just recorded videos, uploaded them on YouTube. It's like, why did you record it like this? I'm like, because I'm sick and tired of having to fucking limit my goddamn monitor just for the fucking video. Eat my ass. Like, fuck me.
Looking at your tweets and stuff, you had that Pokemon tweet got 21 million impressions.
About her fucking cookies.
Yeah. Which everything's been said about the cookie thing there, but you have like a cookie.
I've never made a video on it or like a cookie on my own cookie brand.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to talk about her. Oh, I thought you. Yeah,
I didn't have a cookie brand. No, I just looked at that. Well, like, go ahead. No,
you go ahead.
No, I just looked at her fucking one statement. I looked at her bot and I'm like, this is just weird. Like, how'd you call your audience brokies? Like, so like the dumbest PR move that I've ever seen.
I thought guys like that. Like, I don't watch a lot of streamers, even if they make gaming content or content that, is to entice dudes. I just always thought that a lot of dudes that watch girls, whether they're gamers or not, and whether it's a large chunk of the audience or not, I just thought some dudes appreciate that out there.
They like the Findom shit.
Yeah, I think they like.
They like to be told.
People pay for that shit. I guess so. Yeah, I mean, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Had some very. I'm like, oh, that just sounds like work. That's like the same shit as click subscribe. Like it's one of those things you say.
Everyone I saw in my like sphere made a video about it, and I just didn't because I'm like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, guys. Like, she made one fucking comment, and I moved on. I saw like one video from like Hasan and like H3, where like I think Hasan had like an hour-long video, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how you can have an hour-long video on that. And like H3 had like a 30-minute video where he was like criticizing like Charlie's 10-minute. I'm like, dude, how do you guys have like? And she just like, yeah, it's a shitty thing to say. All right, cool. Now, if you ask me, like on our podcast, like one of my guys, Caleb, he runs Sour Boys, which is like his candy brand, and like he's like the food expert of everything. So when like the only discussion I had with him, I'm like, she's making these healthy cookies, which I'm just gonna say it for the record, there's no fucking healthy cookies. There's no healthy.
No, that's true. Okay? Fucking knows.
I'm sorry, if you're gonna like, this is what I have an issue with. I'm like, if you're gonna go out there and like eat like fucking zero sugar something, or like it all tastes like shit. Like, just eat the full-bodied crap and like work out a little bit extra. Live
your life. Live your life. You gotta find that balance.
Yeah, it's like when people ask me, it's like, what about like a fucking like, are you gonna eat like sugar-free like desserts? I'm like, that just sounds like the fucking weirdest oxymoron to me. It's like you're making a healthy version of like a cookie. Like it just, and then like her definition of healthy was like vitamin D, like 300 grams. I'm like, you could put your hand out, like I got more vitamin D
Just
now.
had a cookie. Look at this guy. He's eating cookies out here.
And then I'm like sitting there, I'm like, to me, it sounds so weird because I'm like, it's such a condescending snack. And I'm like, okay, so your audience is gamers. Your whole joke is they don't go outside. And then I'm like, you're out there buying vitamins. You just like sit next to a window or something. Like, what the fuck? Like,
you don't want a coffee or something? You don't want to sell a coffee or something like that?
Dude, selling like, well, we're working like, for us, we have a few products on the way, but we've been working on a couple things for like a week. Like we're working on skincare. Surprisingly, it's like a weird out there thing for us.
No,
but
we've dabbled in skincare for a bit there. We had a couple.
Well, for us, it was like, so for us, a couple brands come up to us like every year, and they're basically want to white label stuff. So the coffee stuff, it's a great thing that you mentioned it. I had like 3 brands, like 3 these manufacturers reach out to us like, oh, you should be selling like a coffee or like a caffeinated beverage. And I'm like, okay, cool, that sounds nice, I'm interested in it. And then I'm asking them, I'm like, so let's talk about developing this product. And it's just the same shit, but they're willing to mark it up a little bit extra. Now I'm okay with white labeling products. I'm not going to shit on any creator for it. Like, cool. I'm not going to put an ethical thing on it, but it's just, I think that's what pisses the audience off the most, because the people watching are fucking smart. They know when they're getting fleeced. So I'm like, we spent the last year working on the skincare brand, working with like an actual formulator to like actually create like a proprietary product. So we're not just white labeling something. Because that's the thing that gets me. Because it's like Valkyrie launched her like skincare product, and she's like, this has blue light protection, which is fucking bullshit. Like, and it is bullshit, right? Like we sit there.
That's
like,
what we don't want. Like you're saying, we're back to the Mr. Beast thing where we're like, creators throwing down with huge corporations again. What people don't want is they don't want a creator to do the corporate moves. Like we've seen that before. We know that corporations lie to us and say shit like 100% beef, but the company's called 100% beef, and there's not actually 100% beef. It's just 80% beef of this company called 100% beef, so they can put 100% beef. We don't want our creators doing that though, because our creators are people. So we don't want people that we're down with lying to us because we expect a different relationship from them. You know what I mean? Like we understand why Hamas will lie to us. Yeah. We expect that, but Israel can't lie also. You can't lie also. You know, you hold it to, it's like creators. It's like, no, don't do that shit. You gotta be on point.
I think people get mad at the like just increasing the margins, you know, like it's like they already, like you look at someone and they, you know, a streamer like that, she's already making tons of money, you know, based on what her.
But that's
like, why do you gotta take the same product and mark it up even more? I feel like that's where you really, get like piss people off.
But that's your pay. That's your pay. Cause if it was Star Wars, you expect to pay a couple bucks more because it's going to Star Wars.
But you don't get the same Star Wars somewhere else. It's like Star Wars is its own thing, you know. Like this is the exact same cookie, white labeled, you know.
This is Pokemon. There's only one Pokemon, dude.
Well, like for us, it's like the way that I see it, it's like it is just like another markup, but like you expect something unique that comes out of that creator, right? Like these. So the way that we did like we're launching the skincare is like we want to look at any brand that we do as like a potential market disruptor at this point, because. For me, right, like the reason why skincare was ever even a thing that showed up to us was because like as a fucking guy, it's annoying working with any company. Like there was one brand that I worked with, I'm not going to name for fucking legal sake, but they made us do a fucking Scantron test to figure out our skin regimen or some bullshit. Okay. So I'm like, dude, I'm a guy, all right? I'm going to wake up. I want to do it like as quick as possible and get the fuck on with my day. I'm not here to fucking, you know, apply coat 1 and then 2 and then
something that makes you wait 5 minutes with it on your face or some shit.
Yeah. So we worked with a guy and it was like, oh, we have a formula that does it all in one, and it's like a 30-second thing. You just do it for 30 seconds in the morning and you fuck off and do the rest of your day. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck doesn't any other brand do this? And then I'm like, oh, for them it's like as many products as they can get out. You know,
increase
for us, we're like, yeah, so we're just like sitting there. I'm like, one SKU, make it pretty fucking simple. We'll make decent money, but we're not like a fucking skincare, like that's not our day-to-day operation. So it's like disrupt the market, call it a day.
How close are you guys to launch?
And I think that's how.
Like, where are you guys at in the process?
I want to say we're probably a couple weeks left at this point, just hammering out the last couple things.
Direct to consumer, or are you guys going to get it?
Direct to consumer, and then obviously we're working getting us into like cosmetic lines and retailers. A lot of it is just fucking like a lot of it is just, it's such a different market because, again, looking at the Pokimane stuff, and that's why like I'd want to talk about her situation when
Oh yeah, to everyone listening, by the way, Pokimane is it's a Twitch streamer. This girl, she made a cookie, and her cookies were $28 for 4 boxes, and people were like, "Yo, your cookies are expensive," and she was like, "If you're a broke boy, just say
hold on. The cookies are also
they're
the exact same cookie, pretty much minus the vitamin D, is made and sold through Costco, which, for a lot cheaper, I guess is.
Yeah, but this is Pokemon's cookie also.
Well, now it is,
yeah, her branding.
Yeah.
But like the thing with her is like fucking. Like, I'd only want to make a video when we're like launch this product because it's like I just want to use like her, Valkyrie, and a few of these creator examples as like how not to do something, because it's like when you just white label something and you're not really applying anything, it's like you're kind of fucking like your audiences are way too smart for that shit, right? Like a corporation can get away with it because they're faceless, but like a creator can't because you are meant to take the brunt.
Because we're like, nah, Jimmy.
Yeah. Like,
nah, Jimmy.
It's in our fucking nature to jump into any beef and like fucking defend ourselves. A corporation, you can fucking salvo them with all the insults you want and they will never respond to you. But like a creator, it's like there's only so much of that shit you can take. We've all been there where we just jump in and we're like, all right, I got to defend my fucking honor and like all of that shit. So we want to do stuff where we don't have to worry about that, right? Like, and we're also not like any business that I make, I go with the idea that I'm not making any money for like a year or two. Yeah. You know, like I'm always like I'm operating at like that break even point, reinvest, and then think about profits afterwards. So for us, it's like I don't even want to get to that point where we like overprice a product and then people shit on us for it. I'm like, just make it a healthy price as the best PR that you can possibly have, and then move on with it. Because the Pokimane situation was terrible. Like her response was poorly done. You know, had she just sat there and been like, yeah, we know the prices are a little bit expensive, but you know what? This is the first batch. There are some issues. The next batch, when we have things under our fucking purview, then we'll talk about cost cutting and optimizing so everyone, you know, can get access to these cookies. That would have been the best fucking response, you know?
Or she could have really doubled down and been like, sorry, idiots. Sorry, incels. Dude, go buy your cheap cookies then.
Bro, she could have put code broke boy into the fucking webpage for 10% off.
I'm wondering if she sold more in the end.
Broke boy t-shirts. Oh, let's do it right now.
Did she sell more like that? In the end, I
whip
feel
that up for the podcast.
It was like a net positive for her in the end. Ultimately,
I think
ultimately, like it got attention. Everyone talked about it. I saw she sent like you know, I saw like special packages of it to other like, you know, creators to like open up and stuff.
I got a.
You got one?
Yeah, I got a question from Muta actually, because I was watching Destiny once and he popped in and just went on a Discord call with him during one of his videos. But and you mentioned before Hasan H3. Who do you got? You got Destiny or Hasan?
Between them, man, I've got like no dog in that fight. But I mean, I've obviously talked to Destiny a lot more, so I'm a little bit more partial to him in this situation. Hasan, as much as I love Hasan, like his recent coverage with that like Hamas, like the hospital situation, has rubbed me so wrong. Because like as even as like a Muslim, you like I hate the fact that people turn this into such a team sport situation, right? Like this is like, to me, any conflict is not like a team sport. Like it should never be, right? Like I look at this situation, I'm like, civilians are dying everywhere. And like usually with really heavy shit like this, you should wait like 4 or 5 hours for all of the information to come out, right? Because the moment you start inciting the fuck out of people, that's the worst thing you can do. We had it just happen with like the Buffalo like fucking border, right? Where like people were saying it's a suspected terror attack.
It literally fought my mom in text messages. She was like, the border shut down, terror. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like yes. I'm like, no, the only thing I heard so far is there's no explosive device. So as far as I'm concerned, is that, but I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to listen. And I'm like, don't say terror. Don't. Yeah.
I had family members who were like arguing with me. I'm like, the FBI literally just said that there was no fucking explosive. Like, can you trust the FBI? I'm like, bro, if I can't trust the only investigating force there,
like it's funny though, but you know it's funny because obviously I do trust the FBI, but not for a fucking second do I trust the FBI.
Yeah,
like same thing. Like I would never trust a terrorist organization, but I'm never gonna trust a government organization either. But obviously, I trust that, you know, it's the amount of trust, no trust.
Investigators there, but like it's like I'm not even.
Muta, I'm 6 times boosted. I got vaccinated like 6 times, bro. I don't trust anyone anymore.
Dude,
I got
I'm
COVID twice, even though I was quadruple vax. Like, I don't trust science, but obviously I trust science. I get sick, I'm gonna go to the doctor, but I don't fucking trust
Good video
the guy.
time. Most boosted man in
But
Canada.
I'll let him put my balls in his hand and I'll cough, but I don't trust him.
The thing about it is, like, people, like, back in school, they used to just teach you, it's like, get your fucking facts from multiple sources, right? So, like, when that whole bridge thing was happening, I'm like, I'm not only reading what the FBI is posting, I'm also reading what the RCMP is saying. Like,
everyone has to be corroborated. Everything,
like,
absolutely,
exactly. But like, that's the best part about a conspiracy theory is, I'm like, so wait, hold on a fucking second, right? Like, all these countries hate each other's guts, right? Like, the US and Russia, they fucking never get along, but they get along when we're talking about flat earth shit and all this other crap. Like, that's the one time where they're like, we're all on point. Let's fucking run the conspiracy. But everything else we hate each other on. Like, let's expose everyone else's fucking lies, except the fucking flat earth, except the stupidest conspiracy theories out there. I'm like, dude, make it make sense to me, Like, don't get me wrong, I believe in conspiracy theories. Like, I believe in money affecting fucking politicians and governments and everything.
I got another hot question for Muta. You're chilling, you're gaming, you're in your chair at your home, posted up. You're home alone. Sniper Wolf pulls up outside on Instagrams, calling you out. What do you do?
Bro, I'm throwing a flashbang outside my fucking house. You know what? Honestly, if like Sniper Wolf pulled up, I would, because I don't have like people living here right now in this moment. So it's like, I would just probably show up at the front door. If like I had a family or like fucking kids or something, then I'd be like, bitch, you gotta fucking leave. You gotta get the fuck out of my property.
You play Rainbow Six Siege?
Dude, I
like board up all the windows and doors.
Ton of it, man. I love Rainbow Six Siege, but I'm
just start slamming planks of wood on all the windows.
Yeah, planks of wood, like reinforced metal barricades and everything. Yeah, fucking smoke bombs everywhere in my house. Don't get the fuck in. No, dude, I wish I could play that game more, but I'm pretty sure my account's like banned and everything because of the way that I have my computer set up.
Sounds like a crazy way of saying you got caught cheating. Oh my god.
No. So here's the thing: I don't cheat in a video game, but like the way that I set things
only
up
in real life, my man. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Bro. Like fucking, IRS. Come on now, fucking with it now. But like, even with a video game, like I'm pretty privacy security focused on my channel when it comes to computer shit. So like every time these companies like want me to install the most invasive shit on my computer, I'm like, no, like to play a fucking video game, miss me. So like being a former engineer, like I virtualized like everything, so I like contained shit, and they started banning accounts for doing that. I'm like, that's some horse shit. Like you're banning me for doing the thing that 0.0001% of the user base is doing. Eat my fucking ass.
That's why it's so bannable to them. Like Valorant. I remember looking at Valorant for a while and I'd been like, fuck it, I'll just give all my computer data points to the Chinese Communist Party, and I just booted up Valorant.
Dude,
loved it though. Great game.
I had dudes who were like, are you being like racist? I'm like, who the fuck is being racist to the Chinese? I said their government's fucked up, not the people. Like,
oh, you're like me? You're like, I was just at Pacific Mall.
I'm the nicest guy. I go there for fucking food every now and then, dude. I mean, like,
I support the community.
Dude, when I gotta tell people nowadays, and what I hate about like the political sphere, like I have to sit down and explain to them, like, bro, the Chinese Communist Party is like some truly evil, heinous shit, bro. Like they do not.
It's the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, like
everyone. Yeah, go ahead.
You got people who are like simping for them nowadays, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? They're like objectively evil. Like,
it's crazy. It's really crazy because, like, I mean, all the protests and stuff going on. It's great. I would always fight for people whose ability to protest. But like China pulls up and we cleaned up the street. Well, the U.S. cleaned up the streets, rolled out the red carpet, and listen, there's important discussions and. It's kind of neat that Joe Biden referred to it as a dictatorship to his face, but I mean, it's like this person is like there's actually millions of people in concentration camps right now. There are children with no parents like sent to re-education 24/7 schools, and it's crazy.
The biggest country in the world, by the way, too, doing it. This is like a fucking top 3 nation, like. They've got the money and the power to fucking do it, and
and they said to each other. Apparently, they were both like he had said there's enough planet for both the U.S. and China to thrive, and I feel like both in their head they're like, no, there isn't. And then they were like, we also agreed to stop. They're gonna stop working on AI. No AI in.
Bro, that AI shit is only gonna get wilder.
Yeah, it looked like they were both in. They both had their
that
fingers
train's
crossed
moving
behind
and ain't
their back.
stopping. That's for sure.
No, this is so crazy.
The thing is, I don't know if this is true or not. I saw a post, but like apparently the Pentagon is allowing AI to like decide like whether to intervene, like our autonomous.
No,
like that shit, like right here, Business Insider. Pentagon is moving towards letting AI weapons autonomously decide to kill human beings. Like, bro,
that's what China and the U.S. said that they weren't going to do. They were agreeing that they were going to not do that. But that just means, in my head, that means they're secretly racing to do that.
It's been delayed.
I mean, but that's like fucking Terminator Skynet shit. Like that's literally the fucking plot to the fucking Terminator movies. Like at this moment, we're gonna have Arnold coming back from the fucking future.
Like we already know that the AI would be like, we have determined to protect you. We have to kill you.
I mean, that's like the worst case scenario. What like that's always been like the way that people said like this shit's gonna kill us all. It's like the AI is like, oh, human beings really fucking suck. Let's just kill all of them.
And we would feel so stupid. We would be like, we've all seen this movie. Why did we do this?
But then again, everyone thought the internet was gonna kill us all or fuck us over. There's like I've been AI's been popping into my head. AI's been popping in my head a lot.
Y2K.
Like, yeah, Y2K was crazy. Like the fear around that. But AI is just like, sometimes I'll think about it, I'm like, oh fuck, shit's about to get really crazy over the next few years now. Versus
dude, it's like the thing about AI shit is like people who like people right now on like the internet and our space are thinking about how it's going to ruin jobs for like artists and like voice actors and all that shit. I'm like, okay, argue amongst yourself. I'm worried about the military applications, right? Like, dude, you live in a world where like one of the biggest electric vehicle manufacturers just gives out AI to like artificial intelligence is piloting vehicles on the road, multi-ton fucking cars. And like that would like nowhere in a million fucking years should that even be allowed on the streets, right? Like a fucking computer driving a car at highway speeds, insanity. But we're there, you know? Like, and this is gonna keep evolving and growing bigger. And it's like when the military and they have their hands in it already, obviously, as we've read.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm fucking scared how things are gonna go there, you know? It's like we're getting to a point where some like actual human making decisions are just handed over to like a fucking computer. It's like literally even the plot to one of the Metal Gear games. It's like human beings can't decide to nuke each other because there's a human factor. Let a soulless computer decide to retaliate and attack people. I'm like, fuck,
the thing I thought,
they they nuke the sky.
Yeah.
The thing I saw was like the medical applications was what it interested me. I was like, oh, here's the positive side. Maybe we'll be able to diagnose things a lot more efficiently or find issues or fix problems through AI.
And that's great. So we can keep people alive
just for the end times.
Longer in the robot war.
Just for the end times, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They're doing it on purpose. They're like, yes.
Dude, my thing with a lot of this stuff is like I always look at like how many military like applications go into it because like I'm huge into researching the military industrial complex like ever since like fucking as a teenager, right? Like I've been looking into like how big the US Army is, how many divisions it has, how much research it does. What people don't like really realize is a lot of the shit that we use nowadays, the internet, like communications technologies, all of that came from the Army, right? Like the military created it. Like they had the internet fucking 10 years before we did. And so I'm thinking about like this AI.
The Adderall we take before we game.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, but that's like we can't even joke about it because it's so fucking true. Like, how many fucking soldiers are wired up to the fucking gills with like thousands of dollars of equipment, fucking popping dudes on the other side of the world? It's like, it's such an insane industry where like so much billions, trillions of dollars have went into figuring out how to optimally kill and bomb like fucking belligerents on the other side. And it's like AI stuff, like, I don't look at AI as of it now. I'm like, dude, they've probably got shit like 10 years. They've probably got sentient stuff in the fucking Pentagon that they know about, and we just don't even see it now. So I don't know. It's a weird world that we're headed into, but I think that because we're all so connected, the world can't end the way that it originally was like perceived. Because like I think that no matter what, we all know that we need each other. And so we're not going to kill each other, at least just yet.
Well, that's like the idea with nuclear weapons, right? Everyone's like, oh, we're fucked. We got nuclear weapons. And it's just, everyone knows that we can just end it and end someone. But it's like this mutual understanding, you know?
Well, like even when people talk about like nukes, right? It's like fucking, oh, it's a nuke gonna pop in one part of the world. It's like, bro, if a nuke drops in one part, everyone's gonna fire their fucking arsenal.
Yeah.
Like
it's destruction for everyone. There's no winning. No one wins.
Yeah.
It's a net loss across the board, right?
We'll be so mad that we weren't living in Northwest Territories.
Dude, we're still gonna get nuked in the Northwest Territories. So many nukes exist.
That's just because someone missed. That was like a North Korean one that went off crazy. It was aiming for New York.
My dad is telling me it's like people in Nunavut are the only one that aren't gonna get nuked. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? There's so many bombs that they're gonna fucking drop them all there anyways. Like, you still like it's like some insane amount. When I tell people, I'm like, apparently the US and Russia have so many nukes that they can destroy the world literally 7 times over. I'm like, dude, they've got bombs to spare. We'll shoot it out of the aliens too. Like, we just have that much at this point. Like, fuck it, who cares?
The amount of speaking of that, the world times over, the amount of barbed wire that was made in World War I was long enough to wrap the Earth 12 times. That's how much barbed wire they had in World War I, just because barbed wire was the sickest thing. It was like the sickest thing to have set up was barbed wire. Shout out to Rainbow Six Siege.
Sometimes when we come up with like fucking killing devices, we go ham, like claymores and landmines. Whoever came up with that shit, bro, they fucking ran a factory. That's how many landmines exist all over the world. Like, one of my buddies in the army, he was telling me, I didn't believe this at the time until like researched into it. He's like, so when you're operating in like Iraq and shit, or like any of these regions like Afghanistan, which back in the 80s the fucking Soviets took over, he's like, you could literally just be walking down a road and boom. He was telling me the story about like this dude who like literally got enlisted and he did like the fucking short Marine course, and like he was so excited to get deployed. He's like, the day he finally got to go out onto the field was the day he like stepped on a fucking landmine from like 30 years ago and pop. I'm like, dude, like that's how fucking insane that situation is over there. Like, that's how wild, like, just like reading into landmine shit, like just reading into how many of those like things are scattered all over the world. I'm scared even walking outside where I live, because I'm like, dude, they made so many of these things. I don't know where they fucking dug them around. They're like fucking little, like just surprise eggs just waiting to go off everywhere.
So it's so scary and weird.
It's also weird. They make things they don't even like. They're like, oh, we made this thing, and they like continue to have them. I was reading they had like a battery for the what do you call it? The defense system in Israel, where it's like there's a battery for the rockets they send off there.
The
Iron Dome, exactly. Sorry, the Iron Dome.
What the rockets have
There's like a battery system that goes with it, and like the U.S. has 2 of them, and they needed to borrow them, and the U.S. is like, yeah, we don't even really like these, but we have like a bunch of them. It's like they spend all these like probably spent so much money buying, like procuring some of these things, and they're like, we don't even like it. You know, it's not even like the best.
I was reading somewhere that the Iron Dome, like every time that it's run, like every like launch is like fucking $100,000 or something.
Yes, we had Freddie Wong on a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know, as an American, you ever like think about it that all like your whole life, all the taxes you paid shot down like 2 rockets, like in Israel, like that's what you did. You shot down, and there's like you know, the amount of rockets that get shot and how many of those even just miss. Maybe you didn't even shoot down a rocket. Maybe it was a misfire. You bought it though. That's what your taxes did.
How many times is like the air drone like operator, like who's flying the big ass AC-130 gunship, like firing the missile? He's like, I'll just fire this missile there. Like, you don't even think about the fucking cost. It's like, whatever, barrage.
Every time, that is one thing when I play Call of Duty games and the campaign's over, I was like, no soldier has ever shot as many bullets as I shot. Like the amount of bullets, like if they were like, oh yeah, there was a firefight in here, there's 9,000 bullets. Because sometimes in Call of Duty, you just have like a belty and you're going off with it.
Yeah.
Reload it like 5 times. It's like 1,200 bullets were shot here. That's one dude. It doesn't happen.
I'm surprised they don't.
Well,
put, like,
it does, but yeah.
And like Call of Duty games, like even nowadays, I'm like, I miss when games used to have those weird stats where it's like you blew up like 300 trillion barrels in like a weekend, like the community. I'm like, they should just have like a little counter on Call of Duty, like your military spending like budget. Like, how much did you spend in the life?
How much does your soldier cost?
Right. Like every
how much did
nuke you called in, every missile, every bullet you spent, every magazine, like every time you respawn, that's 10 grand that they outfitted you with. Like, bro, you're like how much of the GDP do you fucking represent? But that's true though. It's like, bro, people don't understand like how much money is spent in these entire programs year over year, and like how much of it is fucking wasted. Because you're right, 2 fucking batteries sitting around that cost like tens of millions of dollars.
There's millions of federal employees in the USA that I'm sure some of them just have a job that doesn't need to exist at all. Like there's millions of jobs.
Well, now you're getting into the whole like
federal employees.
The government works.
There's jobs.
It's like the amount of waste.
Yeah, you don't want
the amount of waste that goes. No, the amount of waste that goes on in like the bureaucracy of all government.
Canada too. That's why
I'm talking about Canada right now. Actually, that's what I'm referencing.
Dude,
that's why I'm gonna vote.
I don't know who you guys vote for this time because like every fucking party I
might switch it up.
Like I don't even know. Like I'm not gonna vote for the fucking Liberal Party. Like not close whatsoever. Like historically, we've always voted Liberal because like they kind of purview to the interests of like the immigrant community, I guess. But like even the immigrant community is like, bro, you guys are fucking brain dead running the country.
I've always voted that, and I'm constantly like just like sending it.
I love when
in the conversation I'm kind of like I'm switching it up now.
I love when like Trudeau tells us to be like super progressive and nice, and I'm like, yo, you're the only one that caught doing blackface, okay? Yeah. Not at any moment in my YouTube career have you heard me do blackface.
Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah, like you're the only dude with like the fucking racist ass background that you gotta watch.
You know where they got me? Where they got me bad was when they did the finance minister came out and was like talking about everything's so expensive, inflation, and what she's doing, trying to relate to the people, and the way she related was saying that she canceled her Disney Plus account. Oh, I was like, bro, this is the worst.
Bro, what about the guy was like, yeah, just take like some tuna and mustard. It's nice.
It's like, what are you talking about? Don't even bother trying to relate, please. It's not worth it.
I had like a politician who like fucking they show up every 4 years to like the mosque we go to because like fucking they want to get a vote or some shit, right? So it's like, hey, please vote for us. And like the last time she was talking about like inflation, like how it was coming out there, and like she had the same sort of take, right? It's like. And I was like, honey, there's a gas station just across here. Okay. You see the fucking numbers there? Yeah, that's a little too fucking high. Okay. Maybe work on lowering that a little bit. Everyone here has been bitching about driving on I'm like, you know how bad a winter is in Canada on a fucking car?
Yeah. Like, butter costs $10 for butter. Like, what are we talking about now? I'm going to cancel my subscription. My only entertainment. Let me cancel this one thing that's entertaining me right now.
Yeah, the one thing that's a reprieve from my day-to-day fucking job that I fucking hate. Dude, it's not even milk and butter. It's like eggs too. Like I'm out there like fucking. At this point, I buy eggs from like the
I go to Dollarama.
Dude, I don't want to be fucking really idiotic about it, but you see the prices of toys.
Okay, well,
dude, you like Marvel Legends are $50. They used to be $30. It's like $50 for one Marvel Legends toy. A GI Joe, $50, and it comes in a box where you can't see the figure.
You don't get to know your purchase. It's like surprise.
Because some of them are goopy face.
Yeah, it's a fucking mystery
exactly.
box.
Yeah, it's like a mystery box, and they say it's to conserve plastic. It's like, dude, the whole fucking thing is. What are you talking about? You're selling me a chunk of plastic. Oh. But toys, everything, cost of everything is going up. Games, it's kind of like it did jump up like $10 like in the last 3 years or so. Like it just happened.
I would say games are a little bit more expensive because we get a little less, and then they want us to buy DLC and shit out of it.
Dude, I hate when games have like 2 passes, like when a game has a battle pass and like a club or something like that. Like sometimes they'll have like, oh, get the battle pass and the Halloween haunted track and the fucking
you remember
Fortnite club.
Remember when we bitched about like fucking Oblivion horse armor like $10 back at $5 I guess back in the day, and now it's like an average cop skin is like $22. Dude, they had the boy skin or whatever, like Homelander.
I bought that horse armor, and like I remember my friends like fighting me about it. I loved Oblivion so much, and it was 800 Microsoft points. It was like $12.99 plus tax. It was crazy expensive, and it was just horse armor, and it was kind of cool. It wasn't worth that. And also, like, this is like, I wasn't even teaching yet. This was that hit me hard, that $12. And I still spent it. And my friends were like, you have no idea what you have just started.
Well, now you got to ask those same friends. It's like, so how many cop skins did you buy this year? And they're going to be like, just 4. I'm like, so fuck you. You gave me all that shit.
No, but they're like, no, because they're like, you did this to us.
You started it.
I bought COD skins that would have been in the game if you didn't buy the horse armor.
You're the first domino to fall in 2008.
Yeah.
I had like 5 gamer friends. None of them bought it. I had 5 gamer friends. None of them bought it. And so, like, out of 5
guy who contributed to that, like,
Yeah.
financial
it pains me. It pains me. I wish I could go back. If I can go back in time, people would, like, I don't know, like, kill Hitler's parents or something. Me, it would be like me on the outside of the glass to my gaming room being like, no, don't do it.
It's Interstellar for gamers. Yeah.
Yeah. Like now it's just like fucking, they have this new thing where it's like you pay a little extra to play the game like 3 days early. And
I've said that one.
That's
that
crazy.
one though.
That to me is
no. That's the one I've said for ages.
You back that? You said it or you back it?
Since
you said it like
Halo 2. Yeah. Halo 2 came out, and I said I wish I could spend another $10 and get it.
Is that what they're charging for the early access, or what kind of price?
No, it depends. Call of Duty, you have to get the Vault Pass. Which just means they're making you get
the fucking cost of the game.
Yeah, they're making you pay like the top amount, but you get the top amount features, which are totally worth it. And you get that, and you also get the early access. The early access, that's the one where they're like, it's free. Of course, you're not going to pay to play free. No, you're paying $10 for this in-game soundtrack and an avatar picture. And also, but really, I'm always spending for that early. I got RoboCop early, which, by the way, shit game, loved it. Fucking felt like I was playing a 360 game, a game developed 15 years ago. But it was just so fun and funny.
Sometimes it's so fun to have, though. It's like you just need that, like, fucking just that, not shovelware, but like the game that it's not like the top end release.
It's not asking a lot for me. There's some nostalgia here. I feel like I'm playing a Blockbuster rental or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wish most fucking games were like that nowadays. I feel like everything I buy is just like, I need to have a time commitment to, like, all these live service games where it's like you got to do.
I don't like those anymore. I'm done with those.
What kind of games?
Yeah,
I don't do them. Like games like where it's like it doesn't end. It's just always constantly, like The Division or Destiny, which are 2 good examples of the game, that style. Or like Gotham Knights or something. It's a game that's like they give you a halfway shit game, and in exchange you get to play it forever.
Yeah, they tell you there's going to be more content on the way or some shit now.
And they hook you into grinding. Like it's
like you keep going.
Like it's a game that wants you. It's a game that wants you to come back 1 hour each day instead of playing a game straight through.
It's like those shitty cell phone games where like you're supposed to log back in and do something every once in a while. It's just that, except now you're paying full price and it's on your big box.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Like it's a fucking mobile game for your big dude. But that's the thing too. It's like, man, I bought this nice gaming computer. I come home and like, dude, I already work a job. And then I come home to do another job. Like, what the fuck is this?
You unlocked actually a weird memory for me. I was looking through your timeline. I saw you talk about the game Bully. I was like, I saw like just the image, like a screenshot. I'm like, I have like such a vivid memory of playing that at your house, Harley, sitting there and being like for hours playing this game Bully. Like just such a random game. I haven't thought about it. Completely forgot about that game. Like 100%. Forgot about it.
That's when games were getting shit for reasons they shouldn't be getting shit for. Like the game Bully gave you shit because it was called Bully and it was the makers of GTA, and they would show clips of GTA and be like, look at Bully, it's in school. And then it's like, you're not a school shooter in this game. You're like
you're actually beating up the bad guys. Like
you win if you go to class. Going to class and doing well in school helps you win. But it was funny how
I feel like that's what they should have like marketed. It's like, yeah, you're a bully, but like you get bonus points for fucking showing up to class on time. Like,
2023, a game called Good Student actually that's just Persona. That's basically Persona. You have to go to class on time and like study and then fight
I've always
shadow creatures.
I've always said you could never do Bully nowadays because of 2 fucking reasons. A, you can't have an online mode where you're literally bullying other students. That's never gonna fucking fly. And then the other thing is, when they release it on the PC, you fucking know there's gonna be some 4chaner that mods in an AK-47, and then that clip fucking goes viral 100%. On TikTok, And like I'm just like, dude, it's not that I don't want the game to come out. I'm just telling you, this company, like GTA, you can get away with mass shoot. Like there was a clip recently where a dude drove into like the hospital in GTA 4 and like shot up the whole thing, and like people were surprised. I'm like, bro, if you not played this gaming franchise like at all, like GTA is all about fucking like mass shootings. Like that's what you do when you're not doing the fucking missions.
Yeah.
Like
That's like we used to play that with my buddies is you would each take the controller and put in all the guns, code for all the guns.
Yeah.
And then each kill as many people as you can, cause money and damages, kill as all the army and all that and SWAT.
Yeah, like you get
and then when you die, you pass the controller. Yeah. And that's what I liked about GTA 5 was the characters. Was Franklin was the ones that liked to drive around and stuff like that. Michael, I think, he was like just the regular GTA dude. And then Trevor was for like if you wanted to play the game like a fucking psycho. Like if you wanted to pass the controller around amongst your buddies, you would definitely do it as Trevor.
Yeah, you click the sticks in and you just have infinite health and you can
exactly. And he says crazy and the shit he says too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But you did.
Some people don't like that character.
There's a new GTA, right? That's new GTA that's coming out
next this month, actually, next week or next 2 weeks.
Must be a big one. You get a trailer in the next 2 weeks.
I think that's what they said.
If YouTube, when you put up when that video comes out and you put up video talking about it, YouTube's gonna show me you. You're not here right now, but I was gonna pull up my recommended feed. I'm like, I bet you're there right now, just because you're always talking about the same shit that I care about. I'm like, it's like, and unfortunately, like YouTube drama stuff even is like a guilty pleasure of mine. So like to talk about gaming and like shit going on in the YouTube space that people would be like, who the fuck are these people? You and I line up in terms of interests very closely, and quite a bit with Lynch also. Lynch, not a lot of people you could say like talk to. You'd be like, yo, what's up with Pokemon's
exactly zero people in my life.
Say that with, and they have thoughts.
No, they got nothing for me.
They're like, well, how much time do you have?
I am interested in your take because you were kind of. I don't know if I want to go back to this place, but why not? I remember when we were going through the whole boxing situation. There was all those live with Harley. Then you were in there. What was the final take on that for you? Did you like, there was a lot of arguing and stuff leading up to it. And those Twitter spaces, which I spent exactly no time in Twitter spaces until that whole thing happened and Harley jumped in and I saw you were jumping in, kind of the like commentary,
I wanted to hear that stuff. Cause I was like, I wanted to hear what was going on with like Creator Clash too, because there was just like, I mean, now that we know that, like, I don't know how much the event, I don't know the exact count. It wasn't like $250,000 that like fucking
it lost $250,000.
Yeah.
And then I think iDubbbz raised $250,000 and put up his own or something like that. I think that's something like that. Yeah.
That event, like, one of the things is like I came into it because like I really do want every creator event to be successful. My problem with like the Creator Clash 2 was like I really felt like when he came out with the accounting at the end of it, I'm like, dude, this could have been done in a much more optimal manner. Yeah. Like, because it's like losing $250,000 means like the charities get fucked the hardest, but also it's like the events. Like the future of the event gets in danger because it's like you don't want to lose $250,000 a year, obviously. So I'm like, hopefully the next time they go into it, and it's one of those things where I'm like, bro, YouTubers cannot, like, there are event planners for a reason, right? Like dudes, women whose job it is to make sure all the logistics are handled. I'm like, you gotta fucking go really smart.
Well, my thing right away was even, and I never really spoke about this before, but being there the first Creator Clash, it was at a particular location with a particular hotel, and then the second one happened, it went to a much better venue. Now because I was boxing in it and I'm doing it for charity anyways, I'm like this is fucking cool. It's so cool to do it here at it went from Youngling, which was like a university venue, to Amalie Arena, which is like where an NHL team plays. So it was a huge jump, and like right off the bat, I'm doing it, but every dollar, and it's not my call, and I could never even begin to think about it in one way or another. But I right away was like, oh, the last venue was great, it was perfect. This one's cool, but it doesn't need to be this bigger. And then when you start to think like that, you do think like that every step of the way. And there were steps along the way where I was like, I wouldn't do that. oh, this wouldn't exist if it were me. But then again, I don't think I could have even been able to put on the event and box in it.
Oh, it's a big undertaking. It's a big undertaking. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's a big undertaking. But you do definitely start to look at things, and especially for guys like you and I, which basically, you know, like we were talking about it earlier, like just the money that we spend, if it's something to do it for charity, you're probably like extra scrutinizing where every dollar goes to.
I wouldn't say all charities do that, but sure. Yeah. But
no, not all charities.
But in this case, they had good intentions.
I know their intentions. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know their intentions.
Yeah.
And I always knew like where
do
they
you
were at
think
with it, but,
do you think that like how much do you think the like Froggy Fresh and all that shit like was part of the problem, or do you think this was inevitable? Like just as just sort of more of a planning thing versus like interest, like it affected sales, you think? I haven't been able to land on an answer to that personally.
I personally think it like, well,
I had a hard time. I was trying to think about it. I was like, I don't
know if like necessarily it affects the sales. It's just, I think what really got me on it was like seeing the amount of money they spent on like galas and like a bunch of events afterwards, where it's like, one of my things is like, listen, as a creator, I think like if I'm running an event, right, like I'm always going to have like a fund for creators that maybe can't afford to go there or stay in a place. And it's like, hey, if you need this fund, dip into it, right? I remember Linus Tech Tips, he had an event, he has a thing called LTX, and he had like a fund that you could go to, right, for like travel and everything. And I was like, I can afford the travel and lodging, so I'm not going to dip into that fund or even request it, right? It really felt like for a lot of big creators like Hasan and like, you know, fucking H3, or I don't know if Ethan went to it.
No, I don't think he did.
His boxer
one
went
of his
to it, which
producers did.
You got like Hasan, you've got like other big streamers. Hasan is the only one that came to my mind. I don't know if like Pokimane or really anybody else did XQC.
Well, Amaranth was in the actual production of it. Yeah,
okay.
A few other people.
Well, like anybody any large creator, for instance, that wasn't directly in a production, I don't understand why they didn't just pay for their own way, you know, or why we have to like put people up in like big places. A lot of the assumption in that thought process was maybe word of mouth is going to lead to more sales, and it unfortunately didn't lead to it. One of the big things was like, hey, what if we like? For me, it was pricing that was an issue, right? Like, I think if I was pricing the event pay-per-view wise, maybe I would have done a little bit less because I'm comparing my like expenditure to something like UFC, right? Like, you got to look at this shit like a business, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was like I think 25 early access. I mean, I think the thing is that the first year was such a success. Like the headlines were amazing. You know, like it was like 1 point.
It would have been a profit.
It was I think it was like 1.3 million or something.
If they did it in the same old place that they did last time, then it would have been profitable. And it would have been like $1 million profit.
Do you watch most of the events, or do you just not even engage? You just were interested because of like whatever was the chatter online about.
I watch a lot of the events for sure. Like I definitely like watched Creator Clash digitally when it happened. I was gonna show up to it, but like fucking there was so much other shit that came up in my life.
There's also like it was a Taylor Swift concert at the time. I had a lot of friends that were coming that were like, I can't, hotels are crazy expensive. Because
actually, now that I think about it, the hotel idea that they bought, like they spent money on the hotel, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think that was the smartest thing they possibly could have done in the end.
It was the smartest thing they did because they got it before Taylor Swift was there. But they spent a lot of money on security. A lot of creators, like I would walk around that hotel and, you know, you just see like you get on an elevator and there's like Hasan and Jacksepticeye. Like these are people that can't just be loose. You know what I mean?
Aren't they generally like loose around anyways?
Well, maybe one way or the other, but when there's a large gathering of them, maybe.
That makes sense. Yeah.
They're worried that Sniper Wolf might pull up.
It might be like
yo, come outside.
I'm here on IG Live.
Yeah. VidCon usually, I think, hates it when you like show up to their event unannounced and you've got a following, because it's like they need to think about security and shit.
I remember those days, people showing up when we were still going to VidCon and just like, you know, they'd be like up and coming. They just have kids going fucking nuts, you know, running around like causing her.
There'd be kids going nuts, and there'd be like some dad with their kids. He'd look at me and he'd be like, yo.
Bacon.
Only channel I know, dude. I don't know who the fuck these people are, bro.
But now the streamers roll around with security and just like assault people and act like fucking
and millions
idiots.
of dollars.
Dude, did you see that fucking one like annoying kid walking around? I think it's like Jack or whatever.
Oh
the fuck.
my dude.
Yeah, kid's the worst.
Oh, it's like a peak level cringe
It's
and
just-
terrible to watch and like
he's
That guy-
he's gonna regret it too, right? Or you
no,
think he's gonna
I
grow
don't
up
think. I
always
think there's
be-
something different going on there.
You don't think he's gonna look back
No.
and be like, oh,
No.
I was
No, like I
No.
think she's like better. Like okay, like that whole security dude, like he's like beefing with some guy or whatever, and like a security dude comes in. I'm like, bro, like your security guy is not like if you pick a fight with somebody on the street, your bodyguard, I don't think legally is going to jump in and fucking beat the shit
His
out of this
bodyguards
guy.
are.
Yeah, not only that, if I were his bodyguard, I would be like, hey, little buddy, you want to stop? I know I'm your bodyguard, but I'm trying to like not have anyone.
I would have shown him the clip of the one streamer that got his ass shot over a prank
Yeah,
video.
exactly.
I don't care how fucking big I am. I don't.
And that guy
have
didn't even get in trouble. Everyone was just like, let him. We get it. We hate those videos.
Dude, I saw that. I'm like, you know what? Like, I definitely don't agree with the discharge of a gun like that in retrospect, but like, God damn it. You're making it so fucking hard for me to sympathize
It's
with
very
you.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I can't get there to be. I really can't get there, which is the craziest thing to say when someone ends up being shot. You're like, how to?
Yeah, like I'm sitting over there. I'm like, you know,
Because
what,
you
man?
fully did it, and you know the reasons why he did it, and like how he kept pushing it, and it's just like, you silly motherfucker. Did you even look at that guy that shot him, pulled out the gun? The guy looked like he would pull out a gun if you fucked with him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mistakes. This kid made a lot of mistakes doing that.
One day that Jack kid's gonna bring his security guard and fuck with some dude that has another one of his homies sitting in the corner that's even more jacked than the security guy. And he's gonna fuck everyone up. That's the thing. Like at some point, like you gotta like. I would have more respect if you had your security guard, but you fucked with like a sumo wrestler. You know what I mean? Like some dude that's going to fuck your shit up no matter what. You know, you can't even bring out a gun on
It's rarely a good idea to fuck with people just going about their day, just like regular people, you know, who like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like a shitty thing to do, but also it's like you're in the States, bro. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Or like really like if that like get creative, get like 12 bodyguards. And then roll up into the hood and be in all green and be like, this is Grove Street. And like pick a fight with a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, some real like Joey Salad's prank channel tier shit. No, but it's like even like when I see that kid pulling up, I'm like, dude, when I was in Texas just like driving around, I had like maybe one traffic like fucking, you know, like when you're yelling at somebody. And I let it go. I'm like, dude, I don't want to get fucking shot at. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
You be the asshole. Cut me off, bro.
Florida, also, I never say shit. I never honk at anyone.
I think we're programmed as Canadians to understand because we don't have like the same level of like this is just not fire. Like people don't have firearms really here. It's not a thing. I feel like we all know inherently. You go to the States, it's like just chill out for a second. You know, you can't just be laying on the horn yelling at people. Like
we have them here. They're just not in the car.
They're not like
they're not
like
they're not on
concealing
someone's
carry or
hip.
hanging around. They don't have like 5 of them. You know, like I saw this video of like just people like a buyback of guns that the government was down in San Antonio, and it was like the amount of guns.
Bro, did you see the guns though? They look like fucking like muskets.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, I saw. I was like, what is going on here? Yeah. But like just the amount of guns, it's just wild.
They had that motherfucking hear ye.
The Elmer Fudd kind, you know.
I love going to like my homies in Texas because like every single friend that I have in the state of Texas, like you go into their house, it's just like guns are just sitting there in like arm's reach everywhere. Like here, like a gun has to be in a cabinet and our ammunition is separate. Like
it has to be
you can't have it together.
Everything here is like, and then they'll fucking come into your house randomly and be like, we got to check your fucking gun locker, bro. We got to make sure everything. I'm like, everything's on the up and up. I go to a friend's place and like I go into his house, I go into his living room. And like on his dining table, he just has like an MP7 sitting there, like ammunition. I'm like, you just have like a fucking special ops submachine gun waiting to go off. He's like, yeah, man, you know, we're gonna go.
And it's like cheap.
Later, I'm like,
it's like cheap to buy. It's like not expensive. Like they're like, oh, I bought this like gun for $50. I'm like, what are you talking about? $50 for a firearm?
Like I go to his like I go into like his bedroom, right? And like usually on my bed, like he'll have like I don't know my phone, a Steam Deck, or some fucking gaming device just on there. Like in his like blanket covers, like I pull it aside. I'm like, you have like a fucking M101 AT like shotgun, like a full tactical breaching shotgun. So like Like I pick it up, I give it to him, and he like unloads the shells out of it.
Yeah.
It's fully ready to go.
That's happened.
then-
I've been at my buddy's
yeah.
house there in Texas also, and he's like, "Wait," he like gave me a gun. He's like, "Wait," he's like, "The wait." He's like, "I'm pretty sure there's bullets in it."
Oh my god.
There was.
Dude, I love like he had his handgun like next to his like fucking bedside, like on his bedside he had like an M1911 just sitting there like handgun. I'm like I pick it up and I'm like, let me check if it's safe. So I pulled a slide back. I'm like, oh, it's safe because the magazine's not in there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, how do you have like who has their handgun and then the magazine's like unaccounted for? I'm like, wait, where is your magazine? Like, I don't get it. And then like the rest of the house, it's like AK-47s. He's got like an anti-tank like fucking rifle in like a closet. I'm like, this guy's just.
Yeah. So
I'm like, where? Like he had the 50 cal like in his house, and I'm like, where'd you buy the 50 cal? At a hardware store. I'm like,
it's wild.
dude, my Home Depot. Like fucking the paint is locked behind a fucking cage sometimes.
Yeah,
You
can't even get to building materials, but
yeah, like, and you've got like I've got power tools like restricted, and you've got a fucking like a 50 cal just sitting there waiting to buy. Like you got a BMG at the hardware store. Like part of me wishes I could live there because I love guns a lot, but then at the same time I'm like, dude, I don't know if it should be that easy to access. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it should be like I go to Walmart and I can buy myself.
Yeah, you can't lose track. If you lose track of like the bullets and the amount of guns, I think we've maybe gone too far potentially. You're like, oh, I'm not sure where that one is. You know,
I get a little like freaked out when I'm like at a place and I'm like, you just have a gun sitting out there. Like I'm used to it being in a safe, you know, like like that. I'm cool with you owning whatever, but I'm like, dude, you just have like a fucking like 30-round submachine gun sitting on the goddamn dining table. Like, dude, you eat.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, Harley was in Texas, and he was like, he has all these videos of him around, and I can't imagine him being comfortable. I guess because that's not how I grew up. I was never around firearms ever. I grew up in Canada, which, you know, and I don't know how you got comfortable. Like, how long did it take you to feel comfortable in that scenario where you have like hundreds of firearms?
More comfortable. It's more, yeah. More comfortable than having knives and swords. Those freak me out. If I was in a room full of swords, I'd be like, I'm not sleeping here. Guns, we're good.
Actually, yeah, you know,
yeah. Really? A sword's ready to cut me right there. If there's a fucking hurricane that breaks the glass and the swords fly off the wall at me, like I'm getting fucked up. These guns, what
do they say? You run from a knife and run towards a gun. Is that what they say? If someone's attacking you? Because a knife they just poke you.
I mean, if I see a gun, I'm running away.
Well, they say don't do that because they're just, you know. But a knife, if you run towards that, you're in.
Nah, you're running away, snake.
Oh yeah, you got the patterns. You got the diamond pattern down.
Yeah. It's like, you know, like
go
firing a gun.
What? And then you like juke it out. You're like, what?
You're like using the gun.
Yeah, you juking it out.
It's not like it's COD. You're gonna fucking, you know.
Guys doing the hesitation dribble out of the way.
You guys see that video on Twitter? It's like this gangster dude, and he's in like the shooting range, and he's like, bap, 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 and he doesn't hit a single one.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I would hope it's like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, when it comes to any fucking gun imaginable, I'm just like, dude, it's like there's got to be so much responsibility attached to it. You know, like I've had like when I see anybody like grabbing a gun, like I've had people at like a range like grab a gun haphazardly and like have their finger on the trigger, and I'm like just there. I like grab the barrel like this. I'm like, I grab it tight and I like take it away from them. I'm like, hold on there, chief. Yeah. You don't want to fire this off nowhere. Come on.
I do end up watching those videos though, where like I saw there's one that keeps circling around where there's like a firearms instructor there, and he's like explaining to everyone what's going on, and then the firearm just like pops off. And then he continues as if it was normal. I'm like, did you mean to do that? He's like, mm-hmm. And he continues on. And I was like, it is, that was both funny and scary.
Weird, yeah. I don't know if you guys watch that one YouTuber, Donut Operator, but he like does all these shooting breakdowns of like police scenarios. And it's like one of the scariest things I've ever seen is like, so people who are like shoot somebody, like how many shots does it take to down somebody? I'm like, probably like 2, 3 if you shoot it right. A meth head, full magazine. Even then, that's not enough, right? There was one I saw where like this cop was going up against like a full-on meth head trying to stab him, and like he pretty much mag dumps him, and the guy tanks like fucking 12 rounds, and like at this distance, like this is the cop, this is the meth head, right? Cop's gun jams, so he's just like he clicks once, and I don't know if it's like extinction, like instinct at that point, but he goes through the whole method, like unloads the mag, pulls the slide, puts the gun back in, cocks it, like fires. I'm like all within like a second. I'm like,
Good
dude,
for
this
him.
guy.
He had that fucking reaction.
I'm like, dude, if the guy
down.
was not, if he did not have that reaction, I'm like, that's a fucking knife going into this dude.
And
Immediate.
shout out Don Operator. He's a chill guy. Yeah, and the last time I was in Texas, I was hanging out with him actually. But the
That's how you get used to guns. He's a fucking
yeah.
he's a gun guy.
No, he's having a range day actually at the beginning of next month. I'm going. You should go too. You should do it in December. I think it's on December. Actually, yeah, you should do that. I'm gonna be there. It'll be cool. It'll be a good time. Also, I'm gonna be in Toronto in a couple of days. I'll hit you up maybe because I'm doing like on Epic Mealtime. I wanted to do 25 days or 12 days of Hogmas. And it would just be these videos like I don't know, man. Maybe we'll hit up that Mexican place near your spot. Something casual, nothing crazy.
Let me know when you're in town. You got me on DMs. I'm always here, so just let me know. I'll fucking shuffle things around and we'll make a day of it.
Well, I have one more question for you. I was thinking about this because we've done a lot of like gamer meals. You guys are gamers, two of you. What is like we kind of decide what the quintessential gamer like ingredients should be? Like, what is that? Like, what is your go-to when you're gaming? Like, what do you need? What kind of drink do you need? Like, what is there anything you would say like, oh, this is part of it?
You want me to say Mountain Dew?
But that's what I'm saying. Everyone says Mountain Dew. That when we make meals and we're like sitting brainstorming, we're like, oh, we're gonna make a gamer pizza.
But that's just the memes of it because there were so many Mountain Dew Doritos, like Halo.
But that wasn't you.
Like
you weren't like Mountain Dew Doritos. That wasn't you when it was when that was the era.
Nowadays it's got to be like energy drinks and shit, like G Fuel or Monster or something like that. People,
dude, you know what's the best gamer drink? I'm not even. It's just Jack Daniels. Dude.
There were days where I would get drunk in game, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I'm killing it." And other days I'd get drunk in game, and I'd be like, "I can't even live this shit."
Dude, all I know is like fucking dudes get super caffeinated, and I'm like, just give me a shot of Jack Daniels, and I can.
You feel good.
Fucking get my way through.
You ever keep a little gamer? You keep a little gamer bottle by the table sometimes?
No, I don't have any gamer handle, but like I just go down and like I'll have like one, but I don't have like a handle near me. Like if I started having handles,
that would be we'd be concerned. Yeah,
yeah.
If you pulled out like a huge one right now, I don't know.
Yeah,
you'd be like, "Fuck Pokemon cookies, man."
Yeah, like dude, I've had a dude like I've been to his house and it's just like I could tell the drinking problem because I'm like it's just. Like I saw bottles under his desk, and I'm like, "Dog, that's just straight Smirnoff. Like it's not even ice. It's just like you're just drinking straight."
Dude, I have friends.
What the fuck?
I got friends. The ones that they really got a problem is when there is no bottle, but they're fucked up. Like there's never a leftover bottle, and it's gone, and you don't even know if there was two tonight.
Well, what's the worst binge drinking night you guys have ever had? Because mine is Kraken rum. Dude, I had a whole handle of that one time, and I woke up in the morning, and I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking legend. I'm not even hungover. 2 hours later, I'm fucking hungover.
You were like still drunk. You're like, I'm
different. Like when I wake up and my buddy's like, "Hey, you want to get breakfast? Or you good to drive?" I'm like, I am not good to drive right now. Let me tell you, I don't think that's even happening. And that was the one time where I'm like, I call up my fucking cousin. I'm like, because like they're in the medical field. I'm like, can you wake up drunk? And it's like, how much did you drink? And I'm like, a whole handle of crack. And it's like, oh yeah, you can wake up pretty.
It hasn't left your system.
Oh yeah,
like
I do. Waking up drunk is usually a thing. Like when I do get drunk, I don't get that drunk that often these days. I do smoke a lot of hash, but I'll get drunk and I'm almost always like I wake up and I'm like, still a little bit there. Still feeling it a bit. It'll be like what you said. I'll wake up. I'm like, okay, not hungover. I'll get some breakfast, and then I sit down at the restaurant and I place my order, and then I feel sick. And then I'm waiting for the food
I gotta go
to
home
come.
immediately.
Wrap this shit up.
Now it's like thankfully like I drink so less now at this point that like if I go out with Jen and I have like a glass of wine or something or like a glass or two and I come home I'm like, oh shit, my head kind of hurts a little bit. Oh fuck, I had like, and then I get pissed. I'm like, dude, I'm not even blackout fucking drunk. I'm like a little buzzed, and then I get hungover after getting buzzed.
Wait to hit 30, yeah.
Yeah, bro, it's not cute anymore.
It actually doesn't set in until about 31 or 32. That's about
You're so young.
I got a year or two before it's all gonna
Yeah.
You don't even have any. You don't have any grays either. Look at that.
So you start feeling that.
Dude, I looked for one. I got like maybe one over here.
Yeah. It's more when you get like these pains.
I
that,
better enjoy it.
It's when you get these random pains that don't go away. You're like, oh, what's that? It's like, oh, it just existing became harder now.
Yeah, exactly. So you wake up and it's like, oh, now I know what the back pain memes were all about when I was a kid. I get it.
Thank God AI is going to save us, man. That's it. They're going to help me. They're going to save our back. That's it.
Back pain.
I'm excited.
They're gonna target you and kill you for your weak back.
That's
pain.
That's our next business. AI cures your back pain. Because they say some people say back pain's fake. Have you heard that before?
We're like
that's in your head,
back pain,
dude.
and then
back pain's in your
AI
head. It's not a real thing.
AI cure back pain, and then AI is going to be like, we must eliminate all back pain prone people off the face of the earth.
Oh yeah, they're target number one.
Cleanse the.
Fuck, your family's fucked then, man. You guys are a long line of bad backs over there.
What do you mean? We're gonna rise up? Well, not fully.
Yeah, you're not gonna rise up fully. No,
we're gonna rise up against as much as we can. We're gonna rise up.
But you're gonna have to take breaks every like 30 minutes and maybe take a steroid shot directly into your back potentially, right? That's it.
At some point.
What flag do you think the robots are going to have? You think they're going to have their own flag, or you think they're?
Oh yeah, it's going to be like fucking
make a
Futurama,
logo,
dude. It's going to be like
they're
Futurama.
They're
going to have their own society.
Yeah.
They're going to live amongst us in like 20 years. Get used to it, dude.
So you think we live to see that day? Us personally,
I think we're going to live to see that day. I think we're going to live to see the day.
See some weird shit.
Yeah, we're gonna see the first guy who uploads his brain into a computer and lives forever through a robot. We're gonna see that shit.
Mr.
Like,
Beast.
That's gonna happen.
So that happens in our lifetime. In our lifetime,
upload 1,000 people.
Fuck, that's
in our lifetime. I think,
yeah.
dude, 2050, we'll see it. We'll see it by then. Some billionaire is gonna do it, dude. Like some fucking. We're gonna get the fucking super eccentric billionaire that's like, I want to live forever, but I want to be a fucking god AI doing it.
And that sucks because then he's the god AI, but he's like the iPhone 3 of it.
Oh, he's a
It's not even the new iteration. Like it's not even a good one
yet.
Like it's shit 2 years later when new AI souls get uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
But anyways, brother, thank you for coming on the podcast. Guys, check them out. Some Ordinary Gamers. What's your podcast called, by the way?
It's a Some Ordinary Podcast. So
Some Ordinary Podcast, right? Yeah. Check him out. Thanks for coming on.